appreciate that. We get these things very much, so you have to pardon me if it doesn't work out quite right. We've got a couple of candidates here. We don't want to take too much time. You want to introduce everybody that's candidate, raise your hand, and introduce yourself right quick.
I'm Alonzo Baldonado. I'm running for State Representative, District 8. So, I'll answer questions after she's done, of course.
All right. Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm Matt Chandler, running for the Attorney General's office. On our way through, I wanted to stop in and get a chance to meet with you too as well. I appreciate us speaking. So thank you very much.
Anyone else want to bring them? Okay. Let's get started. Always in these open forums, we have only one rule, and we adhere to it pretty closely. And that is, after you ask one question, if you want to ask a second one, everybody that wants the first question gets to go before the second question. Fair enough? And I will keep you in mind the second time. I'll tell you you're on the second list, and we'll get to you as soon as no more first questions, and we work our way through it, and it keeps the conversation split out among people. Let's put just a few of the fundamentals here on the board. I do this because we're going to get questions that take us back to the same points. And many people will not have heard much about the conservative philosophy. And so I'll just tell you what it is, and then during the night we will direct back at the different things. So the first thing I like to talk about, and I think about these as bedrock principles, and the first thing is that tax cuts create jobs. And then the corollary of that truth is tax increases kill jobs. So you're going to ask through the night many different things that's going to be a very critical piece to it, to understanding exactly where my positions come from. So if there is an important thing for us right now, the economy and creating jobs is absolutely fundamental. Every county, every town says, what are we going to do about jobs? Every single person out here knows someone in their family. They know somebody that is unemployed that has not been able to get another job. There's this anxiety that is permeating us that if I wanted to change jobs, I couldn't find another one. But there's also an anxiety that our pay is not going up and keeping pace with our cost of living. Pay is not going up because there aren't many jobs, and so your employers can keep you around. If there were a lot more jobs, someone would come and offer you better pay, and your employer would increase your pay without you leaving, or you could leave and find better pay. So there's that anxiety. There's the anxiety that we're not going to be able to save as much. People have worked through their savings, trying to live through these tough times. Now they're afraid that maybe they can't get a house or hold the house they've got. They're afraid that what they've saved for retirement is not going to be enough. Even more, they're afraid that the savings that they have won't push them to retirement. So now I hear people saying all the time, we're going to have to work 5 years longer to retire. So these are the reasons for deep anxiety, and frankly, if we would fix the economy and create jobs, that's the most important thing. So create jobs is something that I will say is going to be one of the bedrock principles that I discussed. So now, having kind of laid those things out into one rule, we go. I usually take 3 questions at a time so that you can know that you're up on deck. So we got you're up to bat. We got somebody on deck and somebody in a hole. I played baseball too long, so you're on deck. And third one, we'll just have 2 questions. Now we'll answer those 2 and go home then. Oh, we've got a third one. Okay. All right, I thought we might stimulate a little something here. Okay, fire away here, and let's see if we can have a good discussion tonight.
Actually, you answered my question last time, and it's just a quick comment. Is I asked him about the Bible and stuff. In 1776, our United States Congress and government ordered 20,000 to 30,000 Bibles for our city, state, and country. I don't know if anybody knew that in our history, but I asked him about God and country, and he had a firm answer. He has my vote. Any politician that can vote to murder, slaughter, and mutilate a baby does not have my vote because it doesn't make sense. This one priest says that one of the biggest gifts of the Holy Spirit is common sense. Does it make sense to me to kill a baby? He loves the Bible. He's got my vote, and that's all I have to say.
Let's go ahead and we'll put another bedrock principle down here as you bring it up, and that is that the family got to be the bedrock of any solutions for the country. And we're seeing that the moral foundation of this nation is in disarray. And so family and morality, so that we understand the difference between right and wrong. Now for me, as a Christian, I don't run on my faith, but also don't run away from it. And it does deeply characterize the decisions that I make. Because I think there is a right and a wrong, and I think those are easily knowable things. And so that's what the gentleman's referring to, and we declare ourselves everywhere we go. Two. Yes?
In creating jobs or killing jobs in New Mexico, I think I know where you stand on cap and trade. Can you advise the people in this room about New Mexico only cap and trade,
Yeah.
and also at the federal level, how it will affect jobs?
Yes. Cap and trade is basically a huge tax. And tax increases kill jobs. Huge taxes increases kill huge number of jobs. So cap and trade will do nothing for the environment, will kill massive amounts of jobs. Now, to put the question of New Mexico specific into play, it is ludicrous for the U.S. to be trying to clean up the air when we are punishing jobs and simultaneously the Chinese are building 10 coal-fired power plants in a week or a month or whatever it is, 500 and something I think during the next year. So while we're doing one thing, hurting jobs, they're making power more affordable and cheaper, and they're going to increase their jobs because they're making their products cheaper. So it would be extraordinary punitive to jobs, but also it would cost us a lot more as individuals, and it would do nothing for the environment. Cap and trade never requires less carbon, it simply assigns a tax over to the producers of carbon. New Mexico, base consideration is that we lose 12,000 jobs. I think that's just the beginning point. Europe is finding cap and trade very expensive. It's costing them a lot of jobs because the plants can't afford to pay the electricity to operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week like they were doing before. So jobs are moving to northern Africa out of Germany. So we need to understand as we move forward that this is basically a plan to make some people very rich over this cap and trade phenomenon. Three, yes ma'am.
Yes, my whole point is around, and here we go, Barack Obama, and the question of his eligibility. I want to know if the GOP gets in power, are you willing to not necessarily start a bill, but would you be agreeable to subpoenaing and making him show a birth certificate? Because if he is not eligible to be president, everything he signed, every bill he signed, every executive order, his czars, our whole government, everything we're doing is invalid and unconstitutional and illegal. So this to me gets down to the very basic of everything that's going on in this country and affecting every person. We're talking about little segments of it, but I'm talking about the whole thing. And I'm not trying to be a troublemaker, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. But will you stand up for the people of America and never be called in a back room and be bribed? And I don't think you will. I really, really, really don't think you would ever be a right arm. I really don't. I really don't. But I just want to know, what is your position on Barack Obama if he is in fact a Kenyan-born Indonesian Muslim? What is your position
Sure. My
on
position,
all of this?
you bet. Let's take it backwards first. My position is that Barack Obama raised the most significant questions himself. He said, after he came to the U.S., that he traveled to Pakistan. Now, at the point that he traveled to Pakistan, it was not legal to go there with a U.S. passport. And so he himself raises the greatest questions. I think that those questions need to be asked. Now then, my question would be to you all, at what importance? What importance? You can typically fight 2 or 3 major battles in a year. Major. And for me, if we don't get our economy going, nothing else works.
Absolutely.
We begin to collapse. You see Europe in turmoil now because of Greece. Greece is 3% of Europe's economy. California is in worse shape than Greece They, in the last month or so, they shut down 2 days a week because they can only afford to pay the labor 3 days a week. So if the European Union economy is in trouble because of 3% from one country, California is 28% of ours. So my belief is that we must concentrate here, fight every fight here and here. I'm content to let the courts handle that, and it's my understanding the Supreme Court is actually looking at this question because I think it's an important question. But I absolutely believe that Barack Obama raises the most significant questions himself.
But if the Senate is involved, you will definitely be there on the front lines.
Yes, no, I don't mind. I don't mind being in the fight, but I don't think it should be our consummate fight.
Oh, no, not
Yes.
the consummate, but if it comes up.
Yes, no, I don't have a problem expressing my opinions or expressing a vote, either one.
All right, thank you.
All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's just kind of random. Yes.
I'm concerned about our education because I hear a lot of children that don't even know anything about our history. And we have an education department, a U.S. education department that's trying to educate, on our kids and teaching them all kinds of immoral type of things is required, like the homosexual lifestyle is supposed to be required teaching in schools. And I don't think something like that should be, we shouldn't even have education at that level, so what do you think?
You bet. Again, another one of the bedrock principles here, and that is that education is failing us. The dropout rates are abysmal, and what the kids are learning, they're not going to be competitive with other nations. I do not think that we can sit in Washington and dictate down through mandates to local school boards. What I would do is block grant money from DC, from the Congress, and would block grant all the way to your local school boards. If your local school boards can't cause education to occur, you can unelect them. But you have no power against the DC, against the nationwide bureaucracy. You've got no ability to speak to that. Teachers don't. I think that teachers would absolutely do a very good job if we turn them loose to educate. But we have all of these requirements that are coming from the state and national government. And I say, give the money to local school districts and let them pass or fail and let them elect or unelect the school boards. Yes, 2.
Well, the third rail of politics. After jobs comes Social Security.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I see several of us here.
Absolutely.
What can be done about, number one, putting Social Security back in a lockbox situation so they'll keep their hands out?
Right.
Number 2, one solution I have never heard discussed is why don't they take off the cap? They say Social Security's going broke. Take off that cap. But what is it, 107? That's where you quit paying? Why can't they take it off? You make 100,000, you pay on 100,000. You make 100 million, you pay on 100 million.
Yeah. Okay. So now then this goes over here and is going to come back here. So basically the question is, can we raise Social Security? By the way, on the ads, there was never a vote to privatize Social Security, and so the ads are completely false. The Albuquerque Journal even said those are stretches of the imagination. So on Social Security, you would ask, can we raise taxes? That was basically what you're saying.